Hey, before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the rest of this story. I pulled up to the nightclub at 1:47 a.m., the glow of neon bouncing off the wet asphalt. My phone buzzed in my pocket, one unread message from her. I might be a little late. Don't wait up. I frowned. She wasn't late. She was texting like she had a choice, like I wouldn't be coming. I parked, ran my hand over the car, and tried to steady my racing heart. For 3 years, we'd built a life that looked perfect from the outside. Dinners, weekend trips, Netflix nights, even our inside jokes that no one else understood. But lately, she'd been distant, cold. She'd laugh at my jokes less, hug me tighter sometimes, then pull away as if I had just burned her. I stepped out, the night air sharp in my lungs, and walked toward the entrance. The bass hit my chest like a drum, and the scent of alcohol and perfume mingled in a way that made my stomach twist. I scanned the crowd for her, my wife, the woman I thought I knew, and then I saw her, talking to someone in the corner, laughing like she hadn't noticed the world outside that little circle. My stomach sank. It wasn't just the laughter. It was the intimacy, the way her hand rested lightly on his arm. I cleared my throat. She turned, and that familiar smile, her smile, hit me like a blade. She didn't look guilty. She didn't look surprised. Just happy. Before I could speak, a man I'd never seen stepped between us. He looked at me and said something that froze me mid-step. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. I blinked. The words didn't make sense. My wife glanced at him, then back at me, her smile faltering for just a second. That second was enough to shatter the fragile calm I'd carried all day. I didn't know who to look at. Him? Her? Or the life I thought we shared? And in that moment, everything I believed about us, about her, everything was on the edge of breaking. I stopped, heart pounding, breath caught. The man stepped closer, his eyes pleading, and I realized this was bigger than anything I'd imagined. Should I go on and see what he meant? I froze as the man's eyes met mine, raw and earnest. He was unremarkable at first glance. Average height, plain clothes, but there was a weight to his presence, like he carried a secret too heavy to set down. I need to tell you the truth, he said, voice low, almost trembling. It's not what it looks like. I laughed, bitter and hollow. Not what it looks like. My wife is laughing with you in a nightclub at 2 a.m, and it's not what it looks like. My hands shook, gripping the strap of my jacket. People bumped past us, oblivious, but I felt exposed, naked in the middle of a world that suddenly seemed alien. She stepped forward, placing a hand lightly on my arm. It's complicated, she whispered. Her voice was soft, too soft, and the warmth I expected wasn't there. My chest tightened. I didn't want you to find out like this. I took a step back. Find out like this? Find out like this. My voice cracked. My phone buzzed. Another message from her earlier that evening, one I hadn't opened. Don't worry. It's just business. I'll explain later. I had trusted her words, and now they mocked me. The man swallowed, rubbing the back of his neck. I know it's my fault you see it this way. She told me about some problems. She said she felt distant, that she needed attention, that you weren't listening. His voice faltered, and for a second I wanted to punch him. Not him, really, but everything he represented. She told you? I asked, voice low. My hands were fists at my sides, trembling. He nodded. Yes. I never wanted to. I didn't know He trailed off. She shook her head, stepping closer to me, eyes wide and glistening. It wasn't supposed to go this far. I didn't mean to hurt you. But her hand was still on his arm. My chest constricted. The nightclub's neon lights reflected in her eyes, and I couldn't tell if it was fear, guilt, or desire. And then it hit me. The messages I had ignored the night she said she was working late, the vague excuses, the sudden need for space, all of it led to this. A bitter truth settled in my stomach. She wasn't hiding a moment. She was hiding a life. The man looked at me again. I'm sorry. I should have stayed out of it. But I care about her, and I can't leave things like this. I blinked. My mind raced. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run. But I couldn't look away. And in that moment, I realized I was standing at the edge of something that could never be undone. My hand shook as I pulled my phone from my pocket. I didn't even check the time. I didn't want to. The screen lit up with her messages, now meaningless symbols of a trust I'd lost. I need answers, I said, voice steadier than I felt. Not excuses, not apologies. Why? Her eyes filled with tears, the nightclub's neon reflecting in them like shattered glass. I was lonely, she admitted, her voice barely a whisper. I felt invisible, unheard. I didn't know how to tell you without pushing you away. The man stepped back, giving me space, but his presence was still a shadow over us. I never forced anything, he said quietly. She came to me. I just listened when she couldn't speak to you. I laughed, a hollow, bitter sound. You listened? You embraced her loneliness while I was waiting at home, thinking everything was fine. Her hands shook. I didn't plan for it to go this far. No. I cut her off. You did plan it. You made the choice every time you stayed silent. Every time you smiled at someone else while I believed we were still us. You betrayed me. Her tears fell freely now, and the man's jaw tightened. I'm sorry, he repeated. But I didn't hear him. I felt a strange clarity wash over me. The love I thought was unshakable was just fragile. Beautiful, but fragile. And it had shattered. I need you both to leave me alone, I said finally. My voice was calm now, almost cold. I didn't want to scream anymore. Screaming wouldn't bring back what was gone. They left, her hesitating, glancing back with regret etched across her face, him silently apologetic. And when the door closed behind them, the nightclub's noise felt distant, as if the world had paused for me to catch my breath. I stood there alone, heart heavy, but also awake. Betrayal isn't just about lies. It's about realizing who someone really is when the mask falls off. I walked to my car and sat down, hands gripping the wheel. I didn't know what the future held, and I didn't want to think about it yet. But one thing was certain. I had seen the truth. Sometimes love doesn't fail because it wasn't strong. It fails because the people in it weren't ready to stay when it mattered most. If you've ever felt the sting of betrayal or heartbreak, share your thoughts below. And don't forget to subscribe. You never know when someone's story might mirror your own.